Hey guys, a while ago I reviewed the Nanmu Allosaurus. That was pretty exciting for me because it was the first decent Allosaurus I've had. Today I'm reviewing another Allosaurus people have asked me about, the WDragon Allosaurus. Even though WDragon has often done dinosaurs in a Jurassic Parkish style, their Giraffe Titan was an amazing piece of work, so I was interested to see how they do here. Now I should say that this Allosaurus is actually a rather old mold, so I think that preceded their Giraffe Titan. Now I've known about this for a while, and the pictures were exciting enough to intrigue me, even with some inaccuracies. And while it came out about 2 years ago, I wasn't able to get my hands on one until now. Now, this is a repaint of an earlier version that didn't have stripes, and I think I prefer this one. The WDragon Allosaurus is 30 centimeters or about 12 inches long, and using a real-life estimate of 8.5 to 9.7 meters, which is 28 to 32 feet, that puts this between 1 to 28 and 1 to 32 scale. So there is some overlap in size with the Nanmu Allosaurus, which are estimated to be between 1 to 25 and 1 to 30 scale. Starting at the head, the outstanding feature are the lacrimal crests, highlighted with a very nice pinkish red accent. But as striking as this is, I'd personally prefer a brighter and deeper red, which would have been a little flashier. They continue down these paired nasal ridges with a nice colour transition into the snout. Now posteriorly, they continue in what I feel is a strange root. This keratinous build-up seems to cut into the face very abruptly. Now perhaps they intended it to track over the margin of the squamosal, in which case that outline is too acutely down. If you look at the skull diagram, it should track higher a bit further before curving downwards, and not so abruptly as we see here. So I find that a little disconcerting. Now the snout looks odd. I don't quite understand the convexity on this margin over here. The lower margin of the premaxilla should be almost contiguously in line with the maxilla. Meanwhile, up here, there's this rather weird tapering down of the maxilla that starts too early, making it look rather triangular and pointy, rather than the more boxy look we associate with Allosaurus. Because the head is shrink-wrapped, it calls attention to the fenestrae. The antorbital fenestra seem to encroach too far forward, and together with this weird tapering, really crams out the nasal region. So this area looks really crimped. On the other hand, the lateral temporal fenestra is defined by the weird direction of that keratinous ridge, and because of that, it's not just the wrong shape, it's at the wrong level. As for the mandible, the lower margin looks good to me. Now, any of you Allosaur experts, please comment. I'd love to be proven wrong so I can enjoy this model even more. On that aside, however, the detailing is really excellent. You can see the scalation in the face and how they vary regionally, being more minute on the face and larger on the mandible. And this texturing really serves to make the visage pop out. I'm also very impressed by the teeth. They are small, yet individually sculpted and distinct from each other. And especially here on the medial side of the teeth, or on the inside, you can see that detail really shines. The gum of the pseudo cheeks and also the tongue are smooth and wet. You can also appreciate the texture in the upper palate. And hopefully if I can get the camera to focus on the floor of the mouth. Just very nice detail. The eyes have a nice living shine to them, and the pupils are nicely centered on both sides. And from the front, you can appreciate the nice symmetry of the face without any warping. And also like the very faint echoes of the stripe motif in the face. Maybe a bit clearer here on the jaw. Moving down, we see the continuation of the stripe motif. Now look at how naturally they blend in, giving a subcutaneous pigmentation appearance that I really love in my models. I like the design of these dorsal scales here, looking almost like overlapping plates, rather dragon-like. And it's obvious to see the very nice skin detail with the creases. Both sides, the veins on the neck, and here on the underside. The arms are nicely muscled and pleasingly there's no pronation. The wrists are held neutral. The hand is very powerfully clawed, but unfortunately here it's missing one characteristic of Allosaurus anatomy, the enlarged thumb claw. And here you can see indeed that all the claws are about the same size. The thigh is extremely muscled, as would be expected from a sprinter, although the legs seem to be a bit overly muscled and the feet a little too big. The tail is very nicely muscled, and I enjoy here the muscle separation between the caudofemoralis, the ilioischiofemoralis, and this I believe is the longissimus muscle. And I love the very subtle banding you see on the ventral surface of the tail here. In totality, the powerful musculature seems logical for bursts of speed, which of course brings us to running. Now, an obvious draw of this model, and indeed it was for me, is the very dynamic pose. It's running, and one can imagine it chasing along some massive sauropod with perhaps other allosaurs on the other side of it. And that brings me to the rather odd positioning of the legs. Now you can see that both these thighs are parallel. Now granted, bipedal dinosaurs are unique in their locomotion, so we can never know for sure. But regardless, alternating two legs requires there to be certain principles common with bipeds today. Now looking at the Seller and Manning 2007 paper, where they modeled the running gait cycles of various dinosaurs, well, I'm not a professional gait advisor, and these are just my thoughts for informational and entertainment purposes only.
This is just my opinion, might be wrong, might be inaccurate, might be the ramblings of a madman.
But what I seem to see is if this leg is in the toe-off phase, then the femur should be angled more backwards. And if it's actually coming forward during swing through, then the toes should be getting into dorsiflexion. So someone else who knows more about this, please feel free to comment. Now the animal is very solidly attached to this base. The base itself is pretty plain and nondescript, but the upside of a small and not elaborate base is that it saves on shelf real estate. If you recall, with the Nanmu Allosaurus, I was concerned if its off-kilter pose would hold. Well, it seems that in the WDragon, they very cleverly forestalled this issue by making this leg of a much harder material than the rest. You can see that the other leg here is really quite pliable. So, putting it together, there we have the WDragon Allosaurus. Now, as you've seen, there are a few anatomical gripes and proportion issues, but it really is quite common to stylize and deviate from completely accurate shapes and proportions. But I can appreciate these figures for the dynamism of their poses and the visceral excitement that stirs up, conveying an animal that's actually living and not just posing, and that too has value.